All right, let's dive right in. According to a report from Feminegra, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, are pushing back hard against a fresh wave of tabloid spin. This time, the issue isn't about a royal feud or family politics. It's about something behind the scenes, their communications team. Now, that might sound like a small matter, but the way this story's been twisted tells us a lot about the media's obsession with Meghan and Harry, and how they're finally taking back control of their own narrative. So here's what happened. Recently, several British tabloids published headlines claiming there was another shake-up in the Sussexes' communications office. Words like exit, meltdown, crisis, and chaos were thrown around like confetti. You know the pattern by now. Tabloids latch onto any change, even routine staff turnover, and spin it into a dramatic soap opera. Meghan can't keep staff. Harry's team in turmoil. It's a story they've been running for years, but according to Feminegra's report, the Sussexes are not letting that slide this time. Their representatives have called out the coverage, directly saying, no, the stories are misleading. The reports, they said, don't reflect reality. In short, the tabloids exaggerated again, and Meghan and Harry have had enough. Now, you might ask, why make such a big deal out of this? Because communication, for any public figure, especially for Meghan and Harry, is everything. It's not just about press releases or social media posts. It's the bridge between their intentions and the public's perception. And when that bridge is distorted by the tabloids, the result is chaos not inside their team, but in the narrative that surrounds them. So by pushing back, the Sussexes are sending a powerful message. We're not going to let you write our story for us anymore. That's a big shift. For years, royal watchers have accused them of being overly sensitive or too reactive. But what they're doing here isn't reactionary, it's strategic. It's about establishing a boundary between truth and spin. Let's take a step back. Whenever Meghan and Harry make a move, any move, it becomes a headline. If they hire new staff, it's a desperate rebrand. If someone leaves, it's evidence of crisis. If they attend an event, it's a bid for relevance. If they don't attend an event, it's a snub. You see how the pattern works? No matter what they do, the tabloids have their ready-made angle. And here's the thing, those stories are profitable. Negative coverage of Meghan and Harry drives enormous clicks and ad revenue. So when one small internal team change happens, it becomes an excuse for a week's worth of dramatic coverage. That's what this pushback is really about. It's not only defending their communications staff, it's a stand against a systemic media bias that's been manipulating their image since day one. This moment, though it may seem minor, is a snapshot of the Sussexes' evolution. When they first stepped back from royal duties in 2020, they were playing defence. The headlines defined them before they even had time to react. But now, they've built a foundation, a global platform, and an audience that listens to them directly. So when tabloids get it wrong, they can correct the record immediately. That's the power shift. By addressing this head-on, Meghan and Harry are telling the world, we decide what our story is. Not the British press, not royal sources, not anonymous palace insiders. Let's talk about the team itself for a moment. A communications team isn't just a group of PR professionals. It's the voice, the tone, the personality of any modern brand or public figure. For Meghan and Harry, that team shapes the messaging for Archewell, their public appearances, their philanthropic projects, and even their responses to global issues. So, yes, when staff come or go, it's newsworthy. But it's not scandalous. It's normal. people move on, new people come in. It happens in every organisation on the planet. The only difference is, when it's Meghan and Harry, it becomes a soap opera headline. And that's exactly the kind of distortion they're tired of correcting. Now, here's where it gets more interesting. Tabloids thrive on instability. It's their bread and butter. Crisis stories perform better than business-as-usual stories. So they create instability not in reality, but in perception. It's a game of optics. And the game works like this. If enough negative headlines appear, the average reader starts to believe something must be wrong, even when there isn't. It's a drip feed of doubt. So by responding, Meghan and Harry are disrupting that drip. They're saying, "We see what you're doing. And we're not playing along." That's a significant moment of self-advocacy, because it's not just a denial, it's a challenge to the entire tabloid playbook. We've seen this before. Remember when Meghan and Harry sued the Mail on Sunday for publishing a private letter? They won that case. Or when Harry took on multiple British tabloids over phone hacking. He won that too. Every time they push back, they do it because the line between reporting and harassment keeps getting blurred. And now they're extending that same principle to their professional operations. If tabloids can turn a routine staffing update into a PR crisis, what can't they twist? Their message is clear. We're not the easy targets you used to know. Scene 8. Lessons learned and strategy shift. This moment also shows that the Sussexes have learned a key lesson from the past few years. Silence isn't always golden. When they first left royal life, they often chose silence over response. They believed their work would speak for itself. But that silence left a vacuum, and tabloids rushed to fill it. Now the strategy has evolved. They're not engaging in every rumour or headline, but when a story undermines their credibility or their staff, they'll correct it quickly and clearly. That's smart communications management, not defensiveness. It's the difference between playing defence and setting the narrative before others can. Let's talk about impact. When a public figure corrects misinformation fast, it does three things. First, it builds trust with their supporters. People see that they care about truth, not gossip. Second, it shows professionalism. It tells potential partners, sponsors and collaborators that the Sussexes are serious about reputation management. And third, it protects morale inside their own team. Because imagine working for Meghan and Harry and seeing your workplace portrayed as chaotic every other week. That can be demoralizing. By standing up for their team, Meghan and Harry are showing loyalty and leadership. And that might be the most powerful message of all. Zoom out for a second. This isn't just about Harry and Meghan's PR, it's about media responsibility. We live in a world where headlines travel faster than truth, where the loudest narrative, not the most accurate, shapes public opinion. So when powerful tabloids twist reality and powerful figures like the Sussexes push back, it becomes a kind of cultural tug of war between sensationalism and accountability, between gossip and integrity. And every time Meghan and Harry correct the record, they're quietly reshaping how celebrity journalism operates. That's what makes this moment more than a footnote. It's a statement. Let's recall, this isn't their first staffing change. Yes, over the years, they've had a few communications directors come and go. That's not unusual for high-pressure roles. What is unusual is how those normal transitions are weaponized by the press. If a royal aide leaves Kensington Palace, it's career development. If an aide leaves Meghan and Harry's office, it's turmoil. That double standard is what they're confronting. and calling it out publicly helps dismantle it. Of course, there's always a balance to strike. Public figures have to protect their privacy while being transparent enough to prevent misinformation. Meghan and Harry are learning how to walk that line. They don't owe the public a detailed HR report, but they can clarify when coverage crosses from curiosity into fabrication. And that's exactly what they've done here, calmly, factually, without drama. That's the kind of professionalism that gets lost when tabloids try to paint them as reckless or unstable. Here's the ripple effect. When the Sussexes publicly correct a misleading story, it forces outlets to tread more carefully. Journalists have to double-check sources. Editors have to weigh whether sensational framing is worth potential backlash. And sometimes they even publish quiet corrections. You won't see those on the front page, but they're there. In other words, every time Meghan and Harry push back, the press becomes just a little more accountable. Looking ahead, we can expect Meghan and Harry's communication style to keep evolving. They're likely to be more proactive, setting their own media agenda instead of reacting to others. More focused on long-form storytelling through interviews, podcasts, and documentaries where context can't be cut into misleading sound bites. And more selective choosing platforms that respect nuance instead of chasing scandal. That's how you build sustainability in public life, by controlling your channels instead of feeding your critics. For those who admire Meghan and Harry, this should come as reassurance. It means their operation isn't in disarray, it's maturing. It means they're standing up for their team, for their truth, and for themselves. It means they've learned how to navigate a media environment that often rewards distortion over decency. And it shows they're still evolving, still determined to protect the values they've built their post-royal life around: honesty, dignity, and control of narrative. Let's not forget the emotional layer here. For Meghan and Harry, tabloid distortion isn't just inconvenient, it's personal. They've lived through years of it, the false headlines, the invasions, the attacks on Meghan's character, the misrepresentation of Harry's motives. So when they push back now, it's not just professional, it's personal healing. It's reclaiming dignity that's been chipped away one headline at a time. That's why this story matters more than people think. If this strategy continues, if every misleading headline gets a calm, factual correction, eventually the noise dies down. Tabloids get tired of running stories that don't stick. Readers learn to spot the spin. And Meghan and Harry get to focus on what actually matters: their family, their work, and their causes. In that sense, this pushback isn't just damage control, it's future building. So what are we really seeing here? Not a crisis, not drama, but evolution. Two people who were once silenced are now speaking up. Two people once defined by others are defining themselves. Two people who were once the story are now the storytellers. And whether you love them, criticize them, or simply observe them, that transformation deserves acknowledgement. Because at the heart of all this noise, there's something deeply human, a desire to be understood truthfully. And that, more than anything, is what Meghan and Harry are fighting for. And so, as the tabloids spin yet another tale of upheaval, Meghan and Harry quietly continue doing what they've always done best, turning adversity into agency. It's a reminder that sometimes the most powerful way to answer lies is with calm truth. Because when you know who you are, and when you refuse to let anyone else rewrite your story, the noise fades. And the truth, however slow, always finds its way through. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and remember, don't believe every headline.